Hello everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It is the day of the new moon. We don't have the new moon until tonight. The new moon in Cancer, so it's the 28th. I just finished watching the hearings. I actually missed the first 10 minutes, but oh my Jesus, oh my goodness. So, because this happened right at the new moon right before the new moon in Cancer, there is a sense of wrapping things up. At the same time, we had Jupiter in Aries making a square to the sun in Cancer. And it's a crisis in action square. And Jupiter in Aries is a new cycle, sort of an expansion of the Aries energy, which can be warlike, right? It could be about guns, things like that. Jupiter will be going retrograde, I think, at the end of this month. July, because it's June. Towards the end of July. And it's going to go back into Pisces, which is, it means it just hasn't finished up the cycle yet. We're just getting a hint of what the next 12 years, as Jupiter moves through the zodiac, is going to look like. The last time Jupiter moved into Aries and we got a look was, I think 2010, when we had the beginning of the cardinal T-square. Kind of started everything off at that time. So this period, there's a sense of culmination as we this information came out. And what strikes me is that the most impelling witnesses that I think, or that have touched me while I've been watching these, has been the women. Even in the impeachment trial with Fiona Hill, it struck me that the women stood up in a way and were testifying against him. And in fact, after he was inaugurated, we had the Women's March, and that was the women saying, no, you do not deserve our love. You do not deserve this. You are not for us. We are against you. We do not like you. It sounds like January 6th, somebody actually said no to Trump. And so he was not allowed. He was not allowed to do what he wanted to do. He could not fulfill his intention. And his shadow in his Kabbalah is the Tower card. It's a Mars card. And 16-7 vibration. Totally solar plexus based. The good of the all, or the good of the many, out one to the good of the one. I think we're all seeking a certain amount of unity, more integration, right, with ourselves, within our communities, maybe. And sometimes you don't feel integrated in a community because you haven't found your community yet. And I think that's what the internet has helped us do in many instances, is find our community. And so you're going to find people who vibrate to the same place that you vibrate. When I was watching the hearings, I definitely felt it in my heart. I felt a release. I felt a light. And the strength of this woman, Miss Hutchinson, the strength of Miss Moss, the strength of Miss Ruby, the strength of Fiona Hill, Yavdan, oh God, the woman who was in the Ukraine, Maria Vondanovich. I'm so sorry, I don't remember her name. It might come to me. Sometimes it comes to me later. Yovanovich, right? I think that's right. The strength of the E.G. Carroll, E.G. Carroll. The strength of Virginia Giuffre to hold Epstein and Maxwell accountable. The strength of every woman who has said no, and when they weren't listened to, sought out justice. And for all those women who weren't able to find the courage to fight back or didn't have the means to fight back, that they might be in some way brave because they chose themselves. They chose to survive a situation. This all coming with the overturning of Roe, and all right before this new moon in Cancer, which is part of a highly stressful hammer of Thor. And I have a feeling that Thor might have had a sex change operation, and that's who's holding the hammer. There's a change in the tide, people. Put your attention where it will do most good. Let's take a look at the new moon in Cancer for my beloved United States. You know, I've never considered myself a patriotic person. I've always felt like I was a citizen of the world, that I wasn't superior because I was an American. I was just luckier. And when you're lucky, you should spread the love and spread the luck. If you have a place to speak from, you should speak. If you have something where you can help somebody, you should help. And so I was saying to my students, I'm not really all that patriotic, and one of my students pointed out to me that, God, you're one of the most patriotic people I know, because you look to see the patterns and you feel deeply for the country and what it stands for. It's not America as so much as the promise of equality for all people. And while we're certainly nowhere close to that, it is a founding principle, and it's a principle worth holding. And I think the people who hold it most preciously are the women, especially Indigenous and Black women. And the earth holds it because the earth is the mother, and all her creatures interact. They don't always agree, but they interact. They learn to adapt and evolve. We cannot isolate ourselves anymore. What does this new moon in Cancer bode for the United States? Interesting for a number of reasons. The moon is ruled by Cancer. I mean, the moon rules Cancer. But the moon card in the tarot is associated with Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. Pisces is in Neptune, stationing retrograde. It just stationed retrograde. It's pretty much standing still. And when these further planets out change direction, there's a vortex of energy that emanates from them. And that vortex of energy is consciousness. Consciousness. There's this expansion of consciousness, but it's sort of sitting there in a pool. It's not a tide necessarily, because it's in this place between coming and going, or going and coming. It's in the between place. And there's a lot of power in that in-between place. And so our intentions on this new moon are so very vital. You need to go to the deepest part of your heart and wish the deepest, most fulfilling wish for yourself and for your planet. So this points to a need to connect with our feminine, our lunar, our Piscean nature, our oneness, our feeling, knowing that we are truly in this together, and we are creating the reality that we find ourselves in. We can shift it. We can move it in the direction of our hearts, but in order to do that, you have to be in your heart. And a lot of the pain and suffering that we've been going through over the last number of years, and then decades and centuries and millennial. It's time to open up our hearts. And this new moon, we have an opportunity to do that. It's very, very powerful. We may have to do it with a little forced love. The challenge that we find is that we are at the end of a cycle. It's very hard at the end of a cycle. It's actually very hard at the beginning of a cycle as well, but you have momentum. You have momentum, at least. A challenge is on another level, is to not allow the emotions to take over. Not allow them to be more important than they are. Your emotions are your reactions, right? Your feelings are something different. So I would say stay out of your emotions and move into your feelings. And feelings are very simple. How do you feel right now? I feel scared. How do you feel right now? I feel wonderful. How do you feel right now? I'm happy. The easy feelings, the ones that you know, when you ask a little kid, they say, I'm scared, I'm happy. There's a lot of scared people out there. And there's reasons. And so acting as if goes a long way to creating your environment, your expectation of what your world's going to look like. And the more aware you are of it, and the more, and the less of your ego that's involved in it, where you're becoming a conduit of the soul, that's when miracles happen. And we're in the midst of a miracle. Do not doubt it. Do not doubt it. This is a miraculous time. Let's see what's at the root. The Star card. Many readers call this the America card. This is hope. This is Aquarius. Saturn's in Aquarius. Wanting to structure society so that it's more fair. That it's more fair. That is Blue Jays. A little bit of a warning, I think. Must be a hawk around. Something to take notice of. One of the things that women like Miss Moss. What's the matter, guys? What? It has to be a hawk. I just don't see it. Oh, there he is. Oh no, that's not a hawk. Wow, they're really upset. And it's not because I'm sitting in front of the feeder either. I think they're trying to make a point on this reading. We need to aspire. We need to aspire. We need to do it now. We need to focus on the world we want to live in. Not the world that we're in, the world we want to live in. Which might be the world that we're in. It depends on, like, how you define your world, right? But Aquarius is about raising all boats. It's about it's about different people being able to live together peacefully, constructively, relating to one another, and God help us relating to the earth that we stand upon. Mother Earth will not be denied. She wants her voice heard, and that's a warning sign. The plan forward has to include what is in our hearts, our dearest and deepest hope for the future. And I think that is what's causing some of the emotional stress, because you have a hope for the future and you work towards that future. And when the kibosh comes down on it, just like the kibosh came down on Roe versus Wade and the kibosh came down on Trump, it's hard to reorient yourself. But the true master will take no for an answer and go where their heart leads. Or perhaps never really lose the connection to where their heart leads, instead of their ambition or their ego. I think there's a hawk. I think there's a little hawk in the trees, and that's what's happening. He's going around looking for babies or eggs or birds. And all the birds are so there is there's a predator in your midst. You need to be careful. I don't think that message was for you. I think that message might have been for me. I have to be careful around here a little bit. Okay, let's see what's behind us. The truth. The truth. What's ahead? Recuperation. Rest. Mental rest. Or that we need to come from a meditative place. We need to come from a meditative place. That connects with this. This is a card of meditation. Ow! Ow! What's a mosquito? Get out of here. There's a predator in my midst, and it's a mosquito. Immediate future. The Emperor. It's interesting because we have the Emperor here, but there's nobody on the seat. There's nobody sitting on that card. Nobody's sitting. The Emperor's got no clothes. Somebody was commenting about the Emperor's no clothes. Perhaps to answer you, this is the time when the Emperor has no clothes. we still need to be careful. We're not out of the woods yet. That's what this is about. We're not out of the woods with this, but it has definitely turned. The worm has turned. Hopes and fear, how it's seen from the outside. Money, bankruptcy, downfall, or becoming aware of the corruption. In our domestic situation, the High Priestess, here she is. The High Priestess is the feminine. She knows and she keeps silent. She's our direct connection to spirit. She is the higher vibration of the moon. This is the lower vibration of the moon, and the High Priestess is the higher vibration of the moon. And that's where home lies, in the higher vibration of the moon, an ability to respond to a situation instead of react to it. That's the difference. So Roe versus Wade gets overturned. You're beside yourself. Constructively apply yourself to solutions for the problem instead of raging against the machine. Hopes and fears. 5 of Wands. This can be creative capacity that's created through crisis and trying to put out fires. This was January 6th. This was the White House right here. Outcome, the 3 of Cups. Friendship, happiness, celebration. This is the Princess of Swords. This might have been the woman who testified today. What's her first name? Cassidy. We don't know what sign she is. She's about 24 or 26. They said that 25 or 26, they're not sure. Yep. So this is the Tower moment, guys. This is the Tower moment we've all been waiting for, I guess you could say. There's an uncovering of what is untrue. And what is untrue is that we are light, and that we needn't struggle as hard as we struggle if we could get into the flow of life. Thought and logic and reason is so very, very important. But all of that without love is useless. We need that other part to balance. We need that other part to balance. The fire of spirit lies within us. Look at the size of this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a hawk. Do you see that hawk? Oh no, he got something. Looks like he caught something. He's eating it. Can you guys see that? Wow. So it's a red-tailed hawk, I think. All right. Hawk is a messenger from spirit. I don't know if you got to see that because I'm not a camera person, and I just like, it's lucky that I have it on these books over here. Oh my goodness. Definitely got something. Beautiful. What a beautiful hawk. I don't see a red tail though, so I don't know what kind of hawk it is. Well, the hawk definitely has something to say. Let's see. I'm gonna pick a mystical oral, the mystical shaman oracle. I don't think he got a bird. I think he might have gotten like maybe a squirrel or something. The way he's pulling at the carcass. Maybe it's even a bunny, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go over later and see if he leaves anything. I'll let you know. Hi there, Hawky. Hawky the hawk. Wow. So what you were hearing was a fight to the death, and the little whatever he's eaten lost. But they're not happy. Oh my God. So I was looking at these cards the other day, and I picked, and what I picked was the Ancient Ones, and I had never picked this card, so I saw it and I said, let me read about it. And now here it is, this card right here. Can you see that? There we go, that's better, right? Sorry about the lighting too, not good. I just decided to do this on the spur of the moment. All right, let's see. This card, the Ancient Ones. And I remember reading it and going, oh, and so when I saw the card again, that's what made me gasp. It says, the Ancient Ones are the shamans of old who defeated death and escaped from the tyranny of time. The Ancient Ones once walked the earth like us, in the flesh and bone. Now they reside in infinity and can counsel us after we say yes to our calling. Our calling, right? Say yes to our calling. They are available to help us attain our full realization. The hawk is still here. And it struck me that maybe that thing that it got just went into the bushes. The thing that it got might have actually been symbolic of Trump. And hawks are messages from spirit, so maybe it's done for in this new moon, huh? The Ancient Ones, this is the invitation. The Ancient Ones are inviting you to reach to the future to help birth a new destiny for the earth. Go ahead, find out who you are becoming 10,000 years from now. If you accept the invitation, great power and blessings will come your way and allow you to craft your new destiny for yourself. Do not hesitate to bite off more than you can chew, because you have unlimited spiritual resources available now. You have to visualize the world that you want to live in, because we can manifest it with our minds and our hearts in balance at this very potent and powerful time. This is the medicine. Sometimes it's the medicine we need to take, right? So you can decide which one whether it's an invitation or time to take your medicine. The Ancient Ones beseech you to examine your attitudes and actions and be sure they are of the highest integrity. Not forgiving an ancestor or yourself is keeping you from the freedom you seek. Remember, this is no longer your karma. You can break the chains that once bound you to the family drama and be free of your generational curses. Forgive the ones you need to release. Honor your biological ancestors by lighting a candle to them tonight. lighting a candle to your family. I can't think of a better way for the new moon in Cancer. It's been a powerful day and a very powerful time. I don't think I've ever felt it as viscerally as I do now. I mean, I've been riding these waves of change for years now, but feeling it at the level that I do and as viscerally as I am, light, light, light. Take the time and the space that you need. Spend as much time in nature as you can. Be around people that you love, pets, animals, whatever. Connect with that which opens your heart. Talking to a friend. Doesn't have to be big. It just, you need to be in that space. And if it's hard to find that space, what I find is the most valuable tool in the toolbox is the tool of gratitude. If you just start enumerating the things to be grateful for, it will change your life. It changes your attitude, it changes your outlook, and it changes your life. I love all of you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe if you like. Share with anybody you think might get some benefit from my words. I love you guys. And thanks for the attention that you give me. Hopefully it helps. Take care, everyone. Namaste.